Kent Meyer from Traditions Law with our second vlog dealing with estate planning and business issues. First of all, I'd like to say that oftentimes estate planning is misunderstood. That is, that most people think it's only about what do I do with what I own at my death? What's going to happen to my assets? But really, an estate plan is more like a life plan. That is, it is a plan that should help you in the event of disability or incapacity while you're living, as well as being able to distribute your assets when you're gone. Now, because it's a life plan, oftentimes you need not just the estate planning attorney, but you need a team to make that life plan optimal and achieve the best result possible for you and your family. So who should be on your team? First of all, your estate planning attorney. They will draft the basic documents, usually a revocable living trust, also powers of attorney for health care and legal affairs. They will also assist in dealing with any perhaps tax issues involved in the estate plan itself. But in addition to the estate planning attorney, it's also very often that you can use the services of a financial advisor. Because after all, the assets that are in your estate plan, you would like to grow while you're living and pass on to your family, but also to enjoy that growth while you're alive as well. In addition to that, an insurance professional is often very, very useful, particularly if you have a business. You may be using your insurance agent to help you develop a policy for dealing with the event of your death. How are the businesses going to be handled? How are your business affairs going to be handled? Is someone going to buy you out? Is your estate going to be reimbursed through a buy-sell? And so forth. So an insurance agent can also be very useful. Finally, the last two, an accountant. They can help you in filing, say, tax returns. They can also give you tax advice and accounting assistance as well. Now, a spiritual advisor or life coach can also sometimes be useful in planning. Sometimes you may have a charitable purpose in mind that can be incorporated into your estate plan. In that case, a life coach or spiritual advisor might indeed be very useful. Now, who needs a team? What kind of circumstances oftentimes will give rise to the need for a team? Well, here's a couple. It's not exclusive, but it does include some of those that I think are most important. Your will or trust is old. Oftentimes your will or trust can become outdated. Laws change, circumstances change. So that would be an ideal candidate for a team. Another one, you may have remarried, or you may have gotten a divorce, or your spouse may have passed on. This is a time when you would need a team. In addition to that, you may have a very large retirement account which requires special planning and a team approach. The investment advisor would be there, the accountant, and your estate planning attorney. You own your own business. That really can require the team approach. And then finally, this is kind of funny, but you may have pets that you have a really strong concern that you want to make sure they're taken care of. If something happens to you, you want to make sure that your documents are set up to do that. We have one client that has pets that are racehorses that are very valuable, and there are special needs for those so-called pets. Okay, so that is a discussion of the team that you need for estate planning, or what I would like to call life planning. However, let me now focus in on another team member that becomes particularly important if you do have a business, and that is, how do you choose a business attorney? Now, one of the first things that you want to look at is, what are your needs for legal advice? That is, if you're a medical type firm, then you want to look at an attorney that has some experience or qualification in the medical side of things. Okay, and if you're in a real estate business, of course, then you want to look for somebody with a different kind of expertise. Now, who will or what will your attorney be doing for you while you are in business? Well, they can draft and review contracts. They can help you buy and sell business assets. They can file reports with the state when needed. In some cases, represent you in litigation or mediation. They can help make sure you comply with laws and you don't violate those laws, and then also help in negotiating contracts. So these are all very important transactional areas where an attorney can be essential. It's always good to realize that when you hire a business attorney, use that business attorney. Okay, use them for these things. Don't take actions that have legal consequences without first of all asking what those consequences would be and discussing them with your business attorney. So that's step one. Assess your needs. Step two, now look at a particular firm. If you are starting to do your research, you have several firms in mind, how do you pick the right firm? Well, one thing I would say is this, is that the firm that's always at the top of the list on Google or some other internet sources are not always the best ones. They may have the best marketing and they may have the biggest marketing budget, but that doesn't mean they are the most qualified to assist you and your business. Then the next step, actually meet the attorney that would be handling your affairs. How familiar is that attorney with your business? How successful have they been in helping businesses that are like yours? Do they have a good reputation for success? Do they communicate well with you? In some cases, the attorney and the client just don't have that synergy that you really need. You have to feel that the attorney you're working with understands you, they communicate with you, and they're, essentially empathetic with you. What are their billing practices? How do they bill? Is it by the hour? Are they going to bill by flat fee? That's pretty important. And within the firm, what attorneys will actually be doing the work? Because sometimes it may be an attorney passed off. You may meet one, but they pass it off to someone else. You want to find out who is really going to do the work. So, do you feel comfortable in discussing with the attorney what could sometimes be pretty sensitive matters, but need to be discussed because of their legal implications? So, with regard to budget, you always want to watch your budget. But remember that the most expensive attorney is not always the best one, sometimes just the opposite. And the cheapest one is not always the worst one. Okay? So, make sure that you judge the cost with what you assume is the value. And finally, look at your business attorney as someone you want to have a long-term relationship with. Someone that because they know you, they grow with you, they care about your success. That is the best kind of relationship to have with your business attorney. Again, Kent Meyer, Traditions Law.